Good night, everyone. Welcome back to Be Beautiful. And this is like a part two to relationships, as far as the one I did on confusion, delusion, and illusion. Now, I know there are a lot of relationships topics out there, but you know what? Most of us are in love with relationships. Relationships are ongoing. That's just our makeup to want to be in love or to express love, experience love, whether it be family, friends, or a lover, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other. That's just where we are. That's just our makeup. So there are many topics on it, and I don't think that relationships will ever be explored fully because it's an ongoing dynamic of topics. Some topics we may have heard about before, or some subjects we may have heard people speak about often. Some people may have heard that the topic's been spoken about, but they may not have understood when someone else said it to them. Now, if it's said another way from someone else, they may pick it up and receive it. Now, sometimes we can also hear something that we haven't heard before. So with that said, this topic here is something I don't hear a lot about. Now, the word, as far as what we hear, we do hear the words a lot. When someone says, you know what, you're bringing your baggage over into a new relationship. Now, when we say baggage, we automatically think that the baggage is going to be negative, right? Which most oftentimes it could be, because we haven't explored or taken apart, the other relationship to see what happened, to make sure that we're mindful, to maybe view things differently with ourselves before we go into another relationship. Now, this particular subject here is about bringing baggage into your new relationship. But my thing is, I don't think it always has to be bad. Like, for instance, and really this topic should be more about being still in your own relationship, because the baggage that you're bringing is coming from a previous relationship. So now, when you think that, well, you know what? Like, for me, example, I'm going to use me because it was my experience. Sometimes we're accused of not being communicative enough. They always say, well, communication is key. Communication is key to any relationship being good. And I don't completely agree with that. Because when you say communication is key, it's now depends on the perspective that it's coming from. Because you can communicate with somebody and still not be relating to them, and vice versa. There are a lot of things that can keep getting mixed up. Or you may be to a point to where you know what, someone is communicating to you, but you're not receiving it because for some reason, however you receive it is not received correctly from the other person's standpoint. So now, because you're now programmed from someone else's standpoint to where, you know what, you're not communicating correctly. The blame will be put on you, solely on you. And then the thing is, it won't be put on you unless you accept it. So yeah, you have to accept it or allow it in order to have it transferred to you. So I realized I had allowed someone else's viewpoint of me, to be baggage into a new relationship. So therefore, I never left that relationship, because what happened in that relationship was always in my mind to be, well, the reason why things, whatever, are not working out correctly is because you don't know how to communicate. So now I took what that person said and brought it to my new relationship. So I said, you know what, I'm going to make sure that I communicate with my new relationship, because I want to make sure that things are going to be okay. There will be no misunderstandings. Nothing's going to be seen in a confused kind of fashion. It's just going to be, just so much better. Now, with me doing this, I realized that I didn't leave that relationship, because that person was still in my mind while I'm supposed to be in a new one. See? I know it's deep, right? It's deep. So you're living for someone else, but it was, to me, it's not bad. It's not negative. This is not negative baggage. This is good baggage, because whatever didn't happen or didn't go smoothly in the old relationship, like I said, it depends on how you communicate, how it's received on both ends. Because the fault became, you allowed yourself to be at fault, you want to make sure that, you know what, you're going to be extra communicative with the next person. But the next person may not be that communicative. Like they may be blamed, like you were blamed, not be communicating more, or they may not even like a lot of communication. See, because thinking about somebody else, and you're with someone else, thinking about someone else's views, and you're now saying, you know what, that person's gonna be looking like that person did. That person's gonna be thinking like how that person was thinking. So when you come with a mindset like that, you have not left that old relationship. You're still living that relationship through your new one. It's a new person, but you still have that old residual baggage now into your new relationship. And like I said, it can be a good thing, because communication can be key, but it starts with you. And then when you sit down with your next partner, you learn, okay, what their ideas are. It becomes exchanging of ideas. It has to be you have to be relating to one another, not someone talking to you and telling you what you need to do or what you're not doing. That's not a relationship. That's not a partnership. That's not an equal bringing to the table of mine. That's you should do the way I want you to do it. You should speak the way I want you to speak. You should say the way I want you to say it. You should express it the way I want you to express it. And then you're communicating. Like now you're speaking my language. But it's not speaking my language. Because my voice is like, there is no language for me to speak. So you can become non-communicative because of someone's expectations. You can shut yourself down in a relationship and don't talk because someone is the dominant who wants to be the center of conversation, of attention, and you're not realizing that they're not relating to you, or you're not relating to them because they're not picking up on you. So really, they're in a relationship with themselves. Okay, they're in a relationship with themselves, and you have to just tag along to keep things smooth and happy. And not, you know, you won't be happy because you won't be happy. So, and how do you know? You're no longer together. That's how. Because some things become too combustible within you, you know, to not have the ability or to not to be able to not to be allowed to express yourself because someone else is going to shut you down, making you feel like you don't know how to communicate, or you have no right to communicate, to think the thoughts you're thinking. You would think, yeah, we should share thoughts, right? Yeah, you can share thoughts, but they're not the thoughts I want for you to think. So that was not a good communication, a communicative relationship. We didn't relate. So realizing that I was still in a relationship with someone else, I didn't realize it at the time. Now I didn't realize it at the time. You know, because you figure once you part, you know, you figure that, you know what? Well, I'm no longer there, so therefore I have a new thing going on, but old residue. So it can be the baggage, like I said, could be a positive baggage, because talking to someone and learn to express yourself with someone, and they in return, you know, have an equal relatable conversation, that's bringing good baggage in. But now after you do that, you have to, how do you now distance your mind from the relationship? You don't have to distance yourself from it in this sense. I mean, just be thankful that, you know what, you got that lesson from that old relationship, and that is now no longer needed. So that was a lesson there that, you know what, may now move you forward in relationships to come. So in that sense, once I realized that I was still in that relationship, it did bother me. It did bother me, because I was still on the mindset of like, well, how am I relating to this person? Are they receiving it correctly? Based on someone else's ideas, a carryover from a, you know, previous relationship. So if this message resonates with anybody, or if you got something from this, or if it makes sense to you, or if it gives you something to analyze within yourself, then if your baggage is good or not good, let me know, because I just think it's very interesting, you know, that was a good piece of baggage, because I think it's good to be mindful, you know, for someone you care about, and if you relate, you know, together on the same page, you know, if your ideas don't clash, if you're able to express yourself as men and women, as two grown adults, not one wanting to control the other, okay, or have all the attention on them, or be the only one to be able to express themselves while you're just there becoming resentful. So that was a lesson that I learned, that when you do fully break up with a relationship or any relationship, make sure that if you do carry baggage, it's something that can be useful baggage into your new relationship. But that, you know what, that was something that you had learn from an old relationship, but you don't have to necessarily now be in that relationship with the old person. So with that said, if you really got something out of this video, let me hear your thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts. And For newcomers to the channel or to my platform, I thank you so much. For, you know, my stable folks who've been here from the beginning, I thank you from my heart. And for those who have left the channel, thank you for being here. You know, we all sometimes must move on. And I thank everybody just for giving me some of their energy, or sharing some of their energy with me, because I think it's good to share energy. And love is a beautiful, wonderful thing. Men and women just have to come back on that page and know that there is no bosses. You both can lead, because everyone has strengths and weaknesses. Okay? Both have something to contribute to the relationship. And with that said, if I didn't say the date from the beginning, today is June 20th, 2022. Enjoy your evening or the day, depending on where you are in the world. This is VBeautiful. Stay tuned.